The jungle doesn't care if you live or die, and I found that out the hard way. You know, there are certain stories you don't just tell. You relive them every time the memory sneaks up on you. And this one still clings to me like the damp heat of the jungle. It was supposed to be an adventure, just another box ticked off the list. See the Amazon, explore the wild. I thought I was ready for it. Boots, backpack, a machete in my hand. I felt prepared, almost invincible. But the Amazon doesn't care about your confidence. The Amazon humbles you. I'll never forget that first breath I took stepping off the little propeller plane. The air wasn't just heavy, it pressed against you, thick and alive, like it had its own pulse. The ground smelled of wet earth, rotting leaves, and flowers I'd never seen before. Around me, the jungle loomed, green walls, endless, impenetrable. I thought it was beautiful then. Later, I'd learn it was also terrifying. I wasn't alone. I came with a group, locals, a couple of researchers, and a friend of mine who swore he knew his way around the jungle. He had that kind of reckless confidence you can't argue with. At night, we'd sit by the river, listening to the jungle sing. Frogs croaked like broken instruments, insects screamed sharp high notes, and somewhere in the distance, monkeys howled like restless spirits. It was music, chaotic, eerie music. That first night I lay awake in my hammock and realized something important. This jungle didn't care who I was. I was an outsider, and I was being watched. 3 days in, my friend insisted on taking a shortcut. We were supposed to follow the guides, but he wanted adventure, wanted to see the real Amazon. Against my better judgment, I went with him. Just us, a machete, a little water, and some snacks. At first, it felt magical. Sunlight spilled through the canopy in golden beams, like heaven's own pillars touching the earth. But the deeper we went, the darker it became. The path disappeared, swallowed by roots and vines. The air grew still. Even the insects stopped singing. That silence, it wasn't peace, it was warning. By the time we realized we were lost, panic had already set in. My friend snapped, shouting, pacing, cursing. Then, without a word, he bolted, ran off into the green. I chased him, screaming his name, but the jungle eats sound. One moment he was there, the next he was gone. Just like that, I was alone. I built a fire that night. My hands shook so badly I thought I'd never get the spark to catch. But when the flame finally flickered to life, I cried. Not out of relief, but out of fear. Because the fire was all I had between me and the suffocating dark. And in that dark, I swear I felt eyes, watching, waiting. Day by day, survival became the only thing that mattered. The first day, I rationed what little water I had. By morning, the snacks were gone. Hunger set in fast, sharp and insistent. I chewed on palm shoots, bitter, stringy, but edible enough to trick my stomach into silence. The second day, I stumbled endlessly, tripping on roots, swatting away swarms of insects. Every step felt like the jungle itself was pulling me down, dragging me deeper into its green labyrinth. On the third day, it rained, sheets of it drumming against the leaves. I stretched out giant leaves, catching drops into my bottle. That water, it tasted like life itself. But the rain also woke the mosquitoes. They came in clouds, devouring me alive, biting through fabric, through skin, until I wanted to rip my own flesh off just to escape them. On the fourth day, I met the eyes of death, a jaguar. Golden, sleek, silent. It padded out of the trees and stopped, no more than 20 feet away. Its muscles rippled under its coat. Its eyes locked on mine. For a moment, time froze. Then, without a sound, It slipped back into the shadows. That was worse than an attack. That look told me everything. Out here, I wasn't the predator. I was prey. Nights were the hardest. The jungle never sleeps. Every crack, every rustle, every howl sent my heart racing. My mind began to betray me. I heard voices. My friend's voice, my family's voices calling to me from the trees. Once I swore I saw my friend's silhouette standing just beyond the firelight. I stumbled toward him, but it was only shadows. By the 5th day, I was ready to give up. My lips were split and bleeding, my body weak and trembling. I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe the jungle has claimed me. But then, I heard it. A sound I'll never forget. Faint at first, like a whisper. Rushing water. I stumbled toward it, every muscle screaming, my vision blurring. And then there it was, a river. Brown, wide, alive. I fell to my knees and drank until my stomach ached. That river saved me. I knew water meant life, meant a way out. I followed it, step by step, day after day, moving downstream. But the river was no safe haven. Crocodiles slid through it like living shadows. I kept to the banks, clutching my machete, whispering prayers under my breath. On the 7th day, I heard voices. Real ones. At first I thought I was hallucinating again, but no. There they were, fishermen, hauling nets from the water. When they saw me, they froze. I must have looked like a ghost. Skin burned, eyes hollow, clothes torn to rags. I tried to call out, but the words collapsed in my throat. My body gave up, and I crumpled into the mud. That was the last thing I remembered before waking up safe, surrounded by people who had pulled me back from the edge of the Amazon's teeth. People always ask me what the jungle taught me, and I tell them this. The Amazon doesn't care about your pride, your strength, your plans. It doesn't bend for you. It humbles you. Out there, you're not in charge. You're just another fragile creature, fighting to see another sunrise. But the jungle also teaches respect. It strips you down until you understand what matters. Every drop of water, every flicker of flame, every breath. The Amazon will never just be a place on a map for me. It will always be the place that nearly swallowed me whole, but also gave me back my life.
Survival starts with knowledge. And if you want more stories that could one day save your life, subscribe to Edge of Nowhere. Stay prepared, stay alive.